Today's guest is a new retailer in Charleston, but they're not just selling goods. They are selling faith-based products and creating a place of community for people to come and gather. Today, we introduce you to Heaven's Marketplace.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
And now we welcome Sonya Pacera from Heaven's Marketplace to the Charleston Women Podcast. Sonya, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Erin, for asking me to be here.
Yes, I was just telling you before we started this, I feel like you guys are kind of all over town right now. You guys are really getting the word out about how wonderful Heaven's Marketplace is. Let's just start for those who have not shopped with you. It's at the old Boone Hall store. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. It's 10,000 square feet, and where the old Boone Hall Market used to be. Yep.
And within these 10,000 square feet, you guys sell all kinds of goodies. But what makes you really unique, I think, at least from what I've heard from your story in the past, is that a lot of it is faith-based, correct? Like you're really different with that.
It is. We had a consignment store in New Jersey, a large one, and we just had the prayer wall. And when we opened Heavens in July 2020 in Myrtle Beach, I wanted something a little different where people could actually take the prayer with them if they feel led to keep, to pray about it continuously. So that's how we incorporated the prayer tree. And actually the prayer tree, we started in Barefoot Landing. So the prayer tree that is in Tanger Outlets on 17, that tree is from Barefoot Landing. And then the tree that's here, we have two. They were cut down here on where the old Hamlin Mansion used to be.
Okay. So you have two locations in Myrtle Beach and then one here. And at each you have a prayer tree. Is this something that I'm leaving? Like if I have a prayer wish, I'm writing it down, or am I taking someone else's prayer with me? Like, how does it work?
You can do either or do both. So even going and standing and reading them, you're praying for these prayers. And a lot of children were leaving positive affirmations and prayers for their families. So we now incorporated a smaller tree for children to write on as well.
Yeah.
So that's like a big main focus for us.
That is amazing. What do people say? I mean, I know we come into shop and, buy our gifts this time of year, but when people spend some time looking at that prayer tree, as you said, you're praying for them just by reading them. What do they say when they walk away? There's got to be a little bit of a transformation or reflection, just, stepping in there.
People that might not know the Lord, but run into our prayer trees, they feel it. It can change you. With some of the people are actually writing down realistic things that we tend to keep inside us, and some are very sad and moving, and then some are just. We had two people that traveled 120 miles away to our Tanger 17 location. And they called me over and they said, I want you to know that we know this family. They are 120 miles away, and we did not write this prayer for this family. So it's just, they were amazed by how a prayer can just travel that far and they found it on our tree. And then we have a lot of women's groups that meet, and there was a woman that took 80 prayers off of the trees, and they put them they were all meeting for dinner. So she put one at every plate. So 80 of them were taken, and people prayed about them. So that is a story in within itself.
You are so much more than just a retail location. You're changing lives. with what you do. And I love how you said that prayers are traveling with what you do, from people seeing them traveling from afar. For someone who's never been before, first of all, they need to stop by. But how do you navigate the store? Would you walk in first and stop by the tree? When you walk in, are there little things that you should look at first? What do you recommend?
Well, when people come in, at first they're like, okay, this isn't Boone Hall anymore. But we try and greet everyone and let them know we serve free coffee. So that's always available. We want them to know that so they can walk around. I'll point out that the prayer tree is over where it is. And on Saturdays and Sundays, we do samples. So there's no place like Charleston, pickles and peaches and okra and just probably at least 75 items of food. And so we make sure that people know that they can go and taste them. And if they are shopping it and they want to taste it, these pickles, I'll bring you a jar. They have a jalapeno in it. Ooh. And there's garlic and carrots and onions, and it's a beautiful presentation, but then it has that little tiny kick where people are buying 3 to 5 jars, asking us to mail them, because we do shipping. So for Christmas, so many people were making gift baskets and sending them off. So that's fun.
Definitely a hot seller for sure. What else is kind of flying off the shelves? What can't you go wrong with when you go to Heaven's Market?
Well, we have a small little quote bookstore of Christian items, books, devotions, prayers, coloring books. We have things for newborns all the way up to adults, men and women. Just even if it's lunchbox cards that you can give to your children when, in their lunchbox. It's little 3-minute prayers or devotions that you can keep in your purse. So we have those. But then we have these incredible smelling candles. And there's one called butter rum. It smells like butterscotch. When we light it in Tanger, the people from 3-4 stores come in because they smell the candle. It's amazing.
They're following their nose to your store.
Yeah.
Be part of the conversation surrounding Mount Pleasant. Sponsor the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Podcast marketing is the new, powerful way to brand your business and reach your customers. For more information, visit carolinapodcasts.com or call 843-345-7012.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
You also have jewelry, right? You have, so we talked about like the candles and the food goods, but you have jewelry, handbags?
Yeah, we
have any apparel?
We do.
Okay.
We just started carrying Francis and Benedict.
Oh,
that is, you know
them.
Of it?
Yes,
yeah. So
I adore them.
The 100% of those proceeds go to Francis and Benedict. We do not take anything. We have kimonos. We have a woman that takes 2 or 3 pieces of fabric and she makes shirts out of them. Kind of reminds you of Holly Hobby, or like strawberry shortcake kind of cool. But then we have the Myra bags. They're very popular. We have over 100 different kinds, and they're upcycled. So that's nice. We carry Myra also has tote bags for wine, tote bags for if you're doing like beers or something.
And these are the ones I saw, like you said, upcycled. It was like patches of different fabric and stuff. They're really cool, unique. You're not going to find something like it anywhere else.
No. And some of the prints actually remind me. There was one in particular that reminded me of my grandmother's couch when I was younger. Yeah, it was. They're just fun. They're
Isn't
really
it funny how something speaks to you and it just triggers that memory? I love that.
Oh,
You also have events. I know through the holidays, you're collecting stuffed animals for children. Yeah. It seems like it's a big part of your mission to host events at your place. What do you have coming up in the future?
So we're collecting stuffed animals for the Low Country Orphanage, and those are getting dropped off this week. And toys for Tots. People are calling even today because I guess a lot of the drop-offs are closing down, and bringing them in. And then tonight we are doing an family event where there's Christmas karaoke songs. We have Santa. We have Pastor Mike Gaskins from Life Park Church. He has a puppet called Ike, and he's going to talk a little bit about Jesus, balloon animals, different vendors that do not sell at our location. They'll be selling tonight here. We do food trucks. We just did a cookie class for kids today. We have 4 adult cookie classes next month and art classes.
So fun.
Yeah.
And people can go on Facebook just to, search Heaven's Marketplace. I imagine that's where you can get all the updates. Are you on Instagram as well?
We are on Instagram, although I'm not very good at Instagram. But
a good old Google search will find you. Sonya, I want to know more about your story because you said in the beginning, did you say you were in New Jersey when you had a shop?
Yes.
So how did that, start from up north in Jersey and end up at the old Boone Hall here in Charleston, South Carolina? What was your path? So I used to volunteer at the Atlantic City Rescue Mission for 8 years, and I worked with men and women that were in a program and working with them spiritually and also teaching them job skills. And so that mission work was always a big part of for me. But then my husband and I volunteered 25 hours a week at our church there. And we just kind of felt led to continue that. Like at our consignment store, we had vendors that sold there and the prayer tree. But then an opportunity came up. And it was like, okay, you can go and open a store in Barefoot Landing. We were like, okay, we only did 1,200 square feet. We did not know what was going to happen. And then we were approached by Tanger and they wanted us there and we tried it out. And we've been there for almost 3 years. And then the opportunity came here. We were going to be in the Charleston outlets because Tanger put us there. But there was all of a sudden we got the papers and there was going to be a delay the next morning. So that weekend we drove down and we saw this building. And my husband was like, absolutely not. How are we going to fill 10,000 square feet? I said, this is the store. This is our place. Because now we're able to do outside events. We're going to do. He was saying, no, this is 10,000 square feet. And you knew in your heart, Sonya, you said, this is it. Like this is where we are led.
I just, all through it, there's been, we did a name change. There's just been, about that. Satan pops up all the time in people's lives, but there was just little things trying to knock us down. But I just kept saying, we have to remain faithful. We just have to remain strong that this is going to work out. I knew that for me, we go to Seacoast. We felt very strongly with the Lord. And a lot of times it's easy to get misled into not thinking that it can work out. And believe me, there's still times we're only 3.5 months old, but people coming in, and before we even opened, there were 4 ladies that came in. They wanted to check out the store, and Lauren Daigle was playing on the radio. A woman excused herself. She was crying. For that reaction of people not just knowing the Lord, but feeling the Lord's presence in this store with our music, the way that we treat others, the things that we sell here. that is what is so important for us. Being in community, doing community things. Girl Scouts are going to come January, February, March, and they're going to be selling in our store, just to be able for the community to come and utilize the space that we have been so blessed with. That is what is so important. That is what I hope people will take away, that they actually can. If they came in, there's people that say, I just needed to walk around. I just needed to come in and just listen and be quiet and still. And that, of course, is very important to us.
Well, and that's what's so interesting is that a lot of retail stores, only want people in there if they're going to make a purchase. They don't want you hanging out and walking around. And you guys, from everything that you've said, it's so different. That's okay. It's like grab a cup of coffee, check out the tree, walk around. Like if you feel at home here, that's okay with you guys.
It is. There's our classroom area. It seats 12. And we said that whoever wants to teach classes to 10, we won't take any money from them. We just want them to advertise that they're doing classes there. And then in return, it's community. We love people coming in. I mean, tonight is we did one like a week before Thanksgiving, and it was so many families. And that's what we want to see. We want to see families doing things with their children, families coming out and just enjoying each other and
you have done so much so quickly with this space. Like you're just a little baby business here, a couple months old. And it's amazing. Like kudos to you. Congratulations on the community that you have already created. 20 years ago, I don't know what you were doing, but would you imagine that you would be the owner of 2 stores and that you would be in Charleston, South Carolina?
No. Well, we've loved this area for...
It was a goal.
Yeah, it was a goal to retire here.
Yeah.
But my husband still has his full-time job, and that actually is in New Jersey, and he gets very busy, but he is blessed to be able to work remotely. So he gave me my dream, my passion. He we've been together 34 years. So he supports me, and this has become his passion as well, so I think that it's not really us that are doing it. It's really just God's work that we're doing through, he's giving us to do, through us. And I hope that that's what
you're magnifying his message through your work.
Yes,
I have
ma'am.
one final question, Sonya. It might seem a little strange to you, but when I meet successful, entrepreneurs, businesswomen like yourself, I always think it's really telling and fascinating to hear about people's morning routine. I'm a big believer that like how you start the day is so important. So do you, if you don't mind sharing, are you an early riser? Do you have some routine? Do you pray in the morning?
My husband's standing over here, so he's going to laugh at me. I'm going to be completely honest. I am not. I'm like an 8:30.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And I take time to read, do maybe a quick devotional, spend time with God, try and maybe catch up on my emails.
Okay.
I drink hot tea. We have dogs that he'll open the door and they'll come wake me up if I'm not up by 8. And then, we're here pretty early. So we come in and we have 4 grandbabies. And so 1, 3, 5, and 7. So, and 2 of them are early risers, like 5 in the morning. So when they're over, then I have that time. But I try and just have quiet, have that moment of quiet where I can I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for everybody that we meet, and thankful to God for what is happening in our lives.
Well, Sonya, I am thankful for you. Charleston Women Podcast is thankful for you and your time today. I love hearing your story. I love what you're doing for our community. Is there anything else that I didn't ask that you'd like to add for our listeners?
No, I would just say if they want to find out more about us, you can go on our heavensmarketplace.com or you can go to info@heavensmarketplace.com if you want to send an email. And we have a Facebook that has the classes that we have going on. And just come out, say hi, and let me get to meet you.
That's wonderful. Sonya Pacera, the owner of Heaven's Marketplace. As you said, again, heavensmarketplace.com for more information, and also follow them on social media. And this has been the Charleston Women Podcast.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.